You remember the when we talked about the rainbow? Huh? What did we say the rainbow represents?
That God will never flood the earth again.
That God will never flood the earth again. Does it represent LGBTQ? Does it represent gay people? No. From what we learned in the Bible, is that what it's supposed to be? Is that what the Bible says it is?
I think so.
No. That wasn't what you learned. Okay, can't really remember. Who can remember? Faith, can you remember? When we talked about the rainbow, did we say that it has anything to do with gay?
I'm not sure.
Okay, Benita, do you remember?
The rainbow is God's promise not to flood the earth again.
The rainbow is God's promise not to flood the earth again. And they may have forgotten now, but we mentioned at that time that it's not what the gay people use it for. Okay, guys, do you remember when we talked about the gender? How did God make people? Boy, girl. Huh? Dami?
So God drawed pictures on his board, and then he got sand, and then he made a man.
Okay, so God made a man, and then after a man, who else did he make?
A girl.
A woman.
A woman.
Did God make a man-woman? Somebody who is man-woman?
No.
Did God change the man to woman?
No.
Did God change the woman to man?
No.
That's the best that they can understand. Roshan, does that address? Yeah.
We kind of mentioned it in Noah's Ark as well. Because we talked about Noah's Ark and how God said, bring two onto the boat, male and female. So we kind of said God said it himself. He said, bring male and female. He didn't say bring male, female, and whatever else is in between. He said bring male and female. So just kind of these things that we see around us. And then at the end, we give them the opportunity to ask questions. And we see them try to link these things to what they, like a friend of theirs is Muslim, and she said this and this and this. And so we get to talk to them a little bit. We don't always have the time, which would be nice if we had like an actual children's church where we can be like morning till evening, but then they would miss the morning stuff. But if we had more people, maybe we could. But they get to ask these questions like, this is what my friend said, or my person in school said this, or a teacher said this. And so we're seeing that they're not just hearing what we're saying here, they're actually taking it out into the world, seeing what's happening there, and they're coming back to us and asking us, so what are we supposed to do with this information now? And so it's not just what we're telling them. We're actually seeing them ask more questions about, how that connects to who God is and what we believe.
In school and with friends, there was a time I was asking them that, why is it that all of your friends are Muslims? And they come back home, in as much as we're trying to let them know that we're Christian, they have other religions, but they have to do within the bands of law. You have to discriminate, and so it's huge for them. But the good thing is they're hearing you doing what you can, but the bulk lies even on us parents. They come with questions, they say stuff, and we try to I've done that several times because they have the best of their best of friends are Muslims. That say, well, but you have to know when they are celebrating this and this. Even some of them are pig. They have ciders. They will say this one will come. They will sit. This one will tell the gods. So we say their God. But the bottom line is, kids, you know your own God. You also have to stand up for it and defend it and know what you're doing. So, in as much as you do what you can, you might not be able to, do everything. But it's good when they come here on Sunday, they still have that push and they hear from you. But the buck lies on us at home as parents.
Praise the Lord. It was interesting when my wife said that's how the Tosai, Isaiah, and Owusa learned. And I just smiled. That was how I learned. We kind of came from the same background. You know, we were Anglican. Funny enough, my Anglican church had less attention. I don't know how to say it. I give credit to those men. They knew little about God, but they wanted to do something to the children. I've said it here before. Some of our old men, there was a man called Noble Galaxy, for whatever reason. He was a teacher in the school, and his best topic was geography. I didn't know him. I didn't go to his school. It was people that went to his school. That's why they gave him the nickname Noble Galaxy. And then when the man is talking about the galaxy, they say he often talks about Noble Galaxy. And so everybody gave him Noble Galaxy. I was small like one. Noble Galaxy was my teacher, and another old man who didn't know anything. And all he knew was one song called Waya Lare, Waya Lare. That was the only song the man knew. You don't know what Waya Lare means. It simply means everybody come together. Everyone that God has called, come together. And the man will stand in front every Sunday. Waya Lare, Waya Lare. And as soon as he starts the song, all of us will run out through the back door. The song was too boring for us. So we'll go and buy Dumandu. How many of us ever saw Dumandu? Maybe it was all in Benin. It was not all in Benin. You two bought Dumandu. So we will all run through the back door and we will buy Dumandu. It was different colors. You know, it was just water and colors and sugar. And then they'll give it to us. And the man is busy screaming away on the altar, wire, while all the kids are busy buying Dumandu. He never got frustrated. But you see, we kept going. Until Chief Ajas. How many of us remember that guy? The guy who did Hotel de Jordan. If you ever watched Hotel de Jordan, the guy who was Chief Ajas actually came to church one time as a Sunday school teacher. And it was the best we ever had. He taught us, build on the rock. And that was the voice he had. The rock that ever stands. So build on the rock and not upon the sand. You need no fear the storm. Guess what? All the Dumandu sellers they stopped selling. Because we all wanted to hear him sing. When he starts singing, everybody comes in, and we all run around him. And somebody built us a level, and we didn't find him again. He disappeared. But, brother, what I'm trying to say is this. An early start is very good. But Brother Banji said something excellently. Look, it doesn't matter what these teachers do. They actually spend, one good thing with kids is this. Whatever you tell them outside, they will often tell you, I'm going to ask my teacher. The teacher is always right. In fact, a teacher knows more than the parents. Even if the parents say something to them, they say, I will ask my teacher. That's very common with kids. But you know the truth? They spend 7 days a week with us parents. So our job is to reinforce what the teachers are saying. If you don't understand, if you see a conflict, talk to the teachers and say, I heard you said this. Is this what you told them? And all that. And then from there, we will move to the next level. So I want to thank God for all the parents, especially. Let me say the truth. You guys are the reason why this children's department exists. The parents especially. We have had people come to church here and gone and say, no, we're leaving. Say, why? Oh, yeah, my kids are not doing very well here. You know, I'm going to take them to another place where they're going to do very well. Well, unfortunately, we have also seen the results there. And we have said, well, if you had left them here, they would have actually been better. So we want to thank the parents for all the efforts they are putting in, bringing them on Sundays. In fact, that's the best you can do for us. Just bring them on Sunday. Bringing them on Sunday, you leaving them here is a great thing. Then you often take a step further. There is a midweek program. There is a weekend program. You bring them to the place and then let them do their thing. We are very, very glad. We are very grateful. The reason is because ACCM of tomorrow, they are the ones. I'm always very excited when I see them. If this church is going to survive, it is those kids that will make it survive. If this church is going to die, unfortunately also is them. Because me and you, we all heard about John McCain yesterday. It didn't matter how great he was. At a point, he stopped existing. Today, John McCain cannot balance anything in the Senate. You're going to put him in a casket, and then you will wear him closer he doesn't even care about. But he's gone. So we need a younger John McCain now to balance the system. That's exactly how it's going to happen to all of us here. Whether you like it or not, one day we will all lie down calmly in that casket, and somebody will take over from us. But I hope you've built someone who will take over from you. We're talking about speeding this morning, and my wife was saying, you are not laying a good example to these children. And I say, the funny thing is, all my children tend to have different speed limits. Osa is the best. He's fantastic. He never goes. In fact, the sister said, we don't know how he does it. If the speed limit is 80, he puts the needle on 80, and he just leaves it there. He doesn't go beyond it. We don't know how he does it. Then we all talked about our various speed limits. One said I go 10 and above. One said I go 5 and above. And then when I noticed all the talk, I found out that they were just mimicking me. It's exactly what I'm saying that they were all copying. The brethren, is what you do there. It's monkey see, monkey do. That's how kids behave. So on that note, I want us to just pray for the children and pray for the teachers, and then they will go back to their seats. Shall we just...
Pastor, please, just one more thing before we pray. I'm just going to say thank you for all your contributions. Our take-homes from this discussion is trying to split the class into low, middle, and high, and then exposing the children more through excursions and tours, and also continually including topics that are relevant to their age and time. Is there anything that I have not included? Okay. Having said that, I mentioned at the beginning of the day that we had some assessment on the progress of your children, and I'm going to hand over the mic to Sai to just quickly explain to you the criteria that we used and the rating.
So one thing we wanted to make really clear for the parents that are getting these is that it's completely individual. If you have 2 children, I don't know what the topics are. Okay, so if you have 2 children, don't compare them, because we know what the capabilities of the individual children are. That's why we gave them the specific score that we gave them. So if one child got a 2 and one got a 3, they could be supposedly at the same level, but we personally see that one child could be doing better. So please don't compare the scores. And then next thing is we use the scale from 1 to 5, and 1 being poor and 5 being excellent. So that's how we decided to rate it. And we also put what we saw at the end of 2017 on top as their first score, and then we put what we see right now to this point in 2018 as the second score. In all the different boxes, there are 5 boxes, we put a comment, just a quick comment on what we saw. But if anything doesn't make any sense at all, we can talk to the parents individually, because that was our goal, to be able to talk to each parent, but we didn't want to talk about it like this in front of everybody, because a child doesn't need that. So if you have any questions on why we put something a specific way, or if you think it's different that you've seen at home, we can talk to any one of us as well. The 5 categories were attention capability, because when we first started this, we noticed that a lot of the kids couldn't pay attention for just a reason, maybe 5-10 minutes at times. People would get a little bit distracted, so we put attention, and all the children have been getting better at attention, which is why we wanted it to be our first category. We also put retention ability, because sure, you pay attention and you hear things, but is anything staying? Is it being retained? So we wanted to see if, that's why we started the quizzes as well, to see if what we're teaching is being retained or is being able to be spread to other people. The third was obedience, because parents came to us as well and started saying, we're seeing different things at home. Why are people doing this? They're not listening, or they're doing this too much. So we decided to make obedience a category. The fourth one was participation, because we feel like this is a team and everybody has their role to play. So participation is very important, just to asking questions and answering questions. And we're seeing very high levels of thinking from even people as one. We see levels of thinking I don't see in some of my university classmates. So it's really good that we're able to put participation there, because participation determines how much you've heard. And then the last category was relationships and love and acceptance, because they're family. We're all a family here, and we like to see all the kids, relating to each other in the best way to show their friends that I can show love. So we put love as a category because we have a lot of fights that happen back there, but we also know that they love each other and they accept each other. So those were the 5 categories we chose.
Okay, who is taking an announcement?